People don't realize that what we put in our mouths is more important than anything else.
Your dietary pattern can change your biology in a profound way.
It's a game changer.
Hey everyone, this is Julie and welcome to SOFHAB Reviews. Today I'm doing a review on the Netflix docuseries You Are What You Eat, The Twins Experiment, and joining me yet again is Rascal Entertainment.
Hey there, I'm happy to be back.
Thank you. Now this series shows us a 4-episode long experiment on various sets of twins to see if it's changing the way they eat, has a genetic change in their bodies, weight, health, sexual response, and all things at the same time. But
before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get updates on SOFHAB reviews on Netflix as well as other videos.
Yes, and thank you for joining us again and for your support. Now, we want to tell you that this is a fairly new release coming out in January, and it's considered a vegan documentary series. It was actually an 8-week study.
Oh, 8 weeks.
It's an 8-week study conducted by Stanford University, and the full range of twins was 22 sets of twins, whom they didn't mention until the 3rd episode. But the docuseries itself focuses on 4 sets of twins, 2 male and 2 female, and they're genetically identical. And they each take an opposing diet. One twin gets assigned an omnivore diet, and the other twin gets assigned a vegan diet. And this came out actually on January 1st, just in time for making New Year's resolutions.
Right. And during the study, each episode focuses on a different aspect of health they want to test out. And it's before they start eating the plans that they've been given, and then they check on them again after. Some of them are rather reasonable, other times like, okay, you just wanted to get away with something, didn't you? And it's kind of funny. But they also show you a lot of their progress as they're eating, not day by day, but like they check back on them every now and then and see how they're going. Are they sticking to it? Are they feeling a little fatigue? Are they being affected mentally? Or their health, or their body's gotten used to it, and you kind of have ups and downs with every group, and to see if they stuck with the entire program the entire time. And another thing is that they also give you a little bit of history information with other people outside of the experiment that have changed the way they eat and how their lives have changed, and see does that also affect the twins as well.
Yes. So first I want to tell you, in the first episode, we're introduced to the participants that are focused on for this docu-series. And as we mentioned, 2 female sets of twins and 2 male sets of twins. And they made sure that for the 22, you see various types of people, various sizes of people. So you have a multi-diversity going on, as well as multiple body types, different ages. They made sure to spread it out so that it was not focused on one particular group, so that the results would be narrowed, or you could say biased, because they didn't have enough differences in the study subjects.
Right.
So in the first one, we're introduced to the 4 sets of twins. One set, they're in shape, they're athletic, they're male, and they're African American. Another set, they are in shape. One is athletic and the other one isn't, and they are Caucasian. And then you have the 2 female sets. One is African American, but I think they're Jamaican by way of England, if I'm not mistaken. And they are medium to heavy build. And then you have another set that are Asian, and they are medium to not quite heavy build. They are older. And the 2 male sets of twins are younger than the 2 female sets of twins that are older than they are. And it's got to be at least by maybe 15 to 20 years, just based on looks. So we're introduced to all of them, and then we see which twin has been assigned what diet and the other. It was randomly done, and then they tell us what's going to be studied for each twin. And then we're introduced to a senator who tells his experience, as you mentioned, how he had been diagnosed with diabetes and some other illnesses. He was very sick. He went to the doctor, and that they wanted to give him all these pills. He said no, there had to be a better way, and he got information on the vegan lifestyle online. He implemented the instructions, and his symptoms disappeared. His test came out healthy, and he hasn't had problems since. Now, I want to mention this not because we're attempting to sway you one way or the other, but simply because we want to let you know that there are people here who are from all other walks of life as well, whom they speak to, who have gotten respite from different conditions, and they've gone the vegan way, some by choice and some out of desperation. So we just wanted to say that. Then the second episode, we see them actually running the test. They're doing the endurance. They're doing the asking them questions about what they eat.
Right.
And they do blood work.
Right.
And the thing we didn't expect and you weren't warned about is they do sexual response. And so you get a little NSFW here in this episode.
Just a little bit. They don't show anything,
Right.
but they tell you explicitly what they're watching.
And they say they want to see how their reaction is before the 8 weeks and after, when all of them should be more healthy than they were to begin.
Right.
And so, of course, the girls are giggling. The guys take it more serious. That's just the way it is. And then we're introduced to a few more people who have experienced becoming healthier by changing their lifestyle, including Cory Booker, the senator from New Jersey, who talks a little more about his experience and how it can't hurt for people to eat healthier, to incorporate more fruits and vegetables, and to improve their health and lifestyle.
Right. And you see their progress with each episode, and by the last one, they tell you how the 4 went, what changes they made, and the only thing you may hear is that a few of them may have slipped once or twice, but the test is still supposed to be rather conclusive. As long as they didn't just break away from what they were given altogether, they were fine. And there was definitely a difference in every aspect for both twins. They wanted to see if they would get the exact same results, or would they come out differently despite them being identical twins and genetically twins. So it was interesting to see how much impacted, and some results were expected to be better, some were a little lower, and others nearly remained the same because they were already in good health. But they also took away things that were important for them outside of the experiment. Like, some of them actually started to grow their own food. They actually started to get non-meat option dishes or meals. They started to eat more vegetables and fruits. They wanted to exercise more, and they're inspired by that, and have decided to still at least change the way they eat a little bit. Some want to go back to what they were doing, only did it for the experiment for Netflix, and others decided, hey, I don't have to go fully this, but I can at least take the steps towards it and slowly start getting better at eating and doing better habits, which is a good outcome considering you don't really see the rest of the 22 people, just those 4, but it is nice to know they've had some good reactions to it.
Yes. Episode 3, we're introduced to more people that are involved in marketing, production of food, whether it's vegetables, fruit, chickens, beef, and they're telling you their experiences within each industry, whether they are omnivores or vegan. And we don't want to talk a lot about that. We would rather you watch and draw your own conclusions. There was kind of like a controversy online because they were saying that this was financed by the Beyond Meat people, and that it was...
They were trying to debunk the results and things, saying they were not correct conclusions because they did not do the test right or something.
Well, also they were trying to say that the data was skewed in favor of vegans. That's what I was trying to say. So Marion Nestle appears, and you've seen her in other docu-series, including Poison and a lot of others, and she does a lot of research and scientific work on social and economic influences on food, choice, obesity, and food safety. And she really is hard on food marketing, especially with fast food companies. So she speaks a lot in there. And the thing that's interesting is she's 87 years old, but when you see her, I would never have guessed this woman was 87. She looks like she's in her late 50s. So clearly, how she eats really has affected how she looks and her well-being and her health.
Right.
So we found out a little more about that. And then in the last or final episode, we're brought back to these 4 study participants, and then they take us through getting their lab results and showing us their endurance results. Yes, they do the NSFW sexual response test again.
Right.
And then they share with us how each one fared. And they tell us the amount of fat that was lost by each individual. And of course, comparing each set of twins one to the other. How much muscle mass was gained or lost. How their vitals are. And their oxygen intake and so many other factors. But it was really interesting that the vegans, yes, the vegans, pretty much fared better in having healthier lab work. The omnivores, 3 out of 4, had a better muscle mass result. And some of the vegans actually lost a little bit of muscle mass. What was interesting that they thought because it was only 8 weeks, there really wasn't enough time to get a true indication. But a lot of fat was not lost except for by the 2 brothers that were athletic in the first place.
So it also adapted to the way they already were, plus the 8-week trial as well.
So quickly I want to tell you what it states here for the conclusion. Of the 22 sets of twins, remember we only were introduced to 4 during the docuseries. The series focused on 4 pairs, Carolyn vegan and Rosalind omnivore, participating in the study with the goal of increasing Filipino representation in scientific studies. After the study, both returned to an omnivore's diet, but they now include more plant-based meals. Now Pam, who was vegan, and Winnie omnivore, are South African, They're South African chefs who run a catering company, and after the study, they both returned to an omnivorous diet, but reduced their intake of meat and cheese.
Right.
Now, the 2 male sets of twins, John, who had the vegan diet, and Javon, the omnivore diet, they're nursing students who also like to work out. After the study, they both returned to an omnivorous diet, but cut out most red meat from their diet.
Right.
And lastly, Michael, who had the omnivore diet, and Charlie, who had the vegan diet, they own a cheese business and are known as the Cheese Twins. Prior to the study, Michael was a pescatarian and Charlie an omnivore. After the study, Michael became a vegetarian and Charlie now follows a mostly vegetarian diet. So for them to think that the results were skewed and this was trying to guide people to go in a certain way, you're just basically submitting the facts. If you're testing an omnivore against a vegetarian or vegan diet, you're not skewing it.
Right.
You would just have everybody do vegetarian and then do the results and say, hey, this is good, do it. But
Right.
they didn't do that. They compared in people who have exactly the same genetic makeup.
Right.
And as you now have heard, 3 out of the 4 sets of the twins we were introduced to through this docuseries still stayed omnivore. Only one set, one decided to go vegetarian.
Right.
And the other is mostly vegetarian. So they got the results, they know the truth of which diet did what, and they've used those results to make their own decisions and where they want to go with their lifestyles. And I think that's how it should be for anyone,
Right.
regardless of your health goals and what you're wanting to do. Take the information that's there. You can even try doing various diet lifestyles yourself for short periods of time, even like the 8 weeks.
Right.
See what works for you, and then apply it and do what's best for you. And if anyone does try to skew you and say you're crazy if you eat this way and don't do it, then don't listen to them. I'm a raw vegan, and Rascal is an omnivore who eats high fruits and vegetables. Would you
Right.
say correct?
Yeah.
But neither of us insults the other and tells each other you should do this more or that more. Sure, we'll give each other information, but we allow each other to be who we are and do what we want and eat how we want.
Right.
And just give some friendly advice or recommendations if you feel like it. And
Right.
that's how it should be with anyone you encounter or deal with when you're trying to decide what diet lifestyle is best for you.
Right.
So we definitely recommend you watch this docuseries. It was interesting. It was a little different than we expected. Nevertheless, it was entertaining and educating on many fronts, especially in, as we mentioned, food marketing and representation of different peoples and how these studies affected them. And you can probably get more information if you go online and do a keyword search on the remaining twins that were not featured in this docuseries.
Right.
Lastly, I want to say that the episodes are short. It comes to a total, I think, of 198 minutes, all four. And you can knock this out probably in 2 sittings. And use the information that you get from this to see how you can improve your own lifestyle.
Right. I agree.
So if you've seen You Are What You Eat, a twin experiment, let us know in the comments below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was biased? Did you think it was a waste of your time? Let us know what you think. And if you haven't, it's available exclusively on Netflix to stream. And you can also, if you want some additional opinions and output, you can go to Mike the Vegan, who I really love and recommend. And there are other people online who are giving their opinions, whether they're omnivore or vegan. You can check out what the opinions are being said and decide for yourself what to make of this docuseries and how it can help you.
Right. And don't forget to like, subscribe, include the notification bell to get updates on SOFHAB Reviews Netflix, as well as lots of other types of videos on our channel.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you once again, Rascal, for joining us.
Yes, I'm very happy to join you.
And look forward to more Netflix reviews on more Netflix original content and manga reviews and so much more. Last, if you haven't visited Rascal Entertainment's channel, again, what are you waiting for? There's a plethora, yes, I said plethora, of content. Something's bound to bring you joy and be lots of fun for you, and educational and reviews and so much more. Check her out and subscribe.
Yes, thank you.
So, that's it for now.
I'm Rascal.
I'm Julie.
Have a toontastic day.
Continue to be happy, healthy, and whole. See you next time.